Okay, hold on, let me get
3 good blasts, Kim, and we good.
okay.
All right, hallelujah. All right,
Kim, you getting good at that.
we come before you, Father, as always, asking for mercy, Father, and asking that you forgive us for our iniquities, sins, and transgressions against you and your word. We ask, Father, that you open up our minds and our ears so that we could let the Ruach teach us these things that we need to understand, Father, so that we could be diligent in your word and walk toward on the one single small little path, try to get into this kingdom. Again, Father, we ask that you remember those that are not here, that could be here, if they wish they could be here, but they're not here for whatever reason. We ask that you watch over them, Father, and keep them safe on their jobs and or whatever else their endeavors are. Again, Father, we thank you for your ultimate love gift, Yahushua HaMashiach, for coming here, Father, as an innocent victim, an innocent lamb, sacrificing himself so that we may have right to the tree of life. Show us how to reconnect to your covenant. So again, Father, we thank you for all things. We praise you for all your benefits. We bless your name, Father, because there is no name that's more higher, more powerful, more life-giving. We magnify your name, Father. There's no other name where we can be saved, and we understand that. We thank you for all things, Father. In Yahushua HaMashiach's name we pray. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. You know we're gonna be running into some things today. So let's do this. All right, remember last week I said I wanted to show you guys, hold on a minute. So we're gonna look and see how to, with this Q Bible. And I was showing you guys some of the different things that's up here. Now, before we do that, let's go ahead and do this here. Let's go here. I could go to Bible Hub, but I said we were gonna do that next time. What was the question? Jasmine, your question was, we had a couple of questions that we're gonna go ahead and answer them real quick. Jasmine, your question was on the golden calf, right?
Yes.
And you was, what was it? Say what you said to me so we can.
Basically, like I was watching a video and it was basically one of the videos was saying how the children of Israel were using, I guess, the significance of the golden calf to like worship Yah. And then it was in another sentence it was saying how I forgot what the video said. It was basically saying how that worshiping that was basically going against what, everything that he wanted them to do. I think that's somewhere along those lines.
Okay, can you guys see what's up on the screen?
Yes.
I can.
Okay, let's look at this real quick so we can see what some of these, that's why I say tell y'all, some of these videos, they're all right, but some of them you just, it's okay. It doesn't matter because guess what? At least you're trying to find the truth, and that's a good thing. But if you ever get confused, make sure, like Donnell was saying, you got a community here. So you can always bring the question here and we're gonna try to figure it out. All right, let's go ahead and look at this now. The golden calf breach. All right, let's look at this. And when the people saw that Moshe delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, up and make us Elohims, which shall go before us. as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what has become of him. We don't know where he's at, what's going on. So they said, make us gods. And Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings, which are in your wives, or of your sons and of your daughters, and bring them to me. Now here it is. They want an Elohim. Aaron, what did he do? He, instead of him correcting them, he went ahead and told them to bring gold. He said, bring the golden earrings, because he already, Hasatan already put in his mind what he's going to fashion. Because you got to remember, they all just came out of Egypt. And Egypt was just like this place here. There's many Elohims, or many Els. And all the people break off the golden earrings, which were in their ears, and brought them into Aaron. Now, remember this as well. These things are, you can look at them like a dowry. Because remember, Elohim spoiled them. He spoiled the Egyptians and gave them, it's like kind of like giving your wife jewelry, or a kind of like a gift, a dowry. This is what this represents. So the gift that Yahuwah gave them and dressed them out with, like you would dress your husband or your wife out with, they took out of their ears, and they're getting ready to fashion another god that they knew from Egypt. And he received them at their hand and fashioned it with the graven tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, these be thy Elohim, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. That's the problem right there. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. So listen now, okay, not only do they have another, they have these gods, then they're gonna build an altar. And Aaron made proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast to Yahuwah. Now that's what they probably was talking about, because it was a big thing. Well, see right here, they made the name Yahuwah and all this craziness. But this is what he said. He made a feast unto the Lord. So let's look at that real quick. So see, and of course we know there was no why, but this is the problem. This is where the problem came in, to the existing one, right? All right, now we know if we went to 1961, it's gonna say, it should say Hayah, right? To be, I am, to be, to exist, right? So this is what they did. This is where the problem came in at, right? And they rose up on the morrow and offered burnt offerings, which is a peace offering. We're going to learn about that too. No, not today. I got that. I was working on it all night long. But this is what they did. With a burnt offering is a whole offering. It's a peace offering. It's kind of like a burnt offering is what the lamb was offered twice a day. And also, a burnt offering also represents the Mashiach. See, and they rose up because what a burnt offering is saying, like it's saying, I love you, Father, and thank you for all the things that you actually done for me. It's a free will offering. It's an offering that you do on your own. So they rose up on the morrow, they offered a burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and rose up to play. And Yahuwah said to Moses, get thee down, for thy people which thou hast brought out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. Let's look at that. Right? So what? Destroy, waste. They've spoiled themselves. They've corrupted themselves, right? Perverted, right? They ruined themselves. See? How did they do that? Because they're worshiping another El and using the name of Yahuwah with it. That's probably what the video was saying.
Yeah, they were not supposed to make any graven images.
Right. That was part of the covenant. That's one of the first things that they were supposed to do. And when we start looking at the Hokim and Mishpatim, or the Hokim, that's what that is. How to treat Yahuwah. So here they done committed adultery. He says, they have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. Why? What way? Out of the covenant, out of the 10 commandments. They have made them a molten calf and have worshipped it and have sacrificed thereunto and said, these be thy Elohims, O Israel, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore leave me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make thee a great nation. All right? And Moshe brought Yahuwah his Elohim and said, Yahuwah, why does thy wrath wax hot against this people? Let me show y'all something else. Let's see. Because he wanted to go ahead and kill him and started something else out with a brand new nation out with Moshe. And he made new stones. But now I'm trying to find a part where he told Aaron that, made the people naked. Here it is right here. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked until their shame among their enemies. So what does that mean?
They were covered by the Most High before he messed them up.
Right, to cause refrain, to show lack of restraint,
Yep.
right? So what they did was, again, exactly, they didn't have no covering no more. And this is what happens to us when we start going away from Yahuwah. You don't have no protection, because we've been learning so far all these last year about the commandments. This is why we go over the commandments so much, because we're trying to get y'all to understand exactly what it is. When you're obedient, then he's your shield and your buckler. He's like a castle that you inside of that can't be penetrated. Once you go ahead and start doing things that you don't need to do, all of a sudden they done breached the wall. So does that help you out, sister?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what was this other question? Was Romans chapter 7?
No, 14.
Okay. Let's look at this. Okay, him that is weak in the faith receive ye, but not the doubtful disputations, right? All right, so we got those, because we got some of them running around. For one believeth that he may eat all things, another who is weak eateth herbs. Let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not, and let him which eateth not judge him that eateth, for Elohim hath received him. Now this right here, this is a real hard one. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do this. It's not a hard one, it's just Paul's writings is hard to understand if you don't really, because just reading this off the top, first thing people are gonna say is they can eat whatever they want. Who art thou that judges another man's servant? To his own master he standeth or falleth, yea, he shall be holding up, for Elohim is able to make him stand. One man esteemeth one day another above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind.
That's it right there.
Now, the question is, first of all, if I'm not in this truth, I don't, in my mind, I don't know what they should be esteemed anyway. That's number one, right? Number two, when we're talking about days, and when he goes on to say, let no man judge you in a holy day or in a feast day and all these things, he's talking to people that understand these things. Because if you walk down the street right now and you talk to the average person and you ask them, about the feast of unleavened bread, they don't know what you're talking about. If you ask them about tabernacles, they're like, what is tabernacle? So how can I judge you in something that you don't even know about? They're not even esteeming one day better than the other. So we're going to find out what this word means. The key word is esteem above another, because you have some brothers that's going with the new moon, right? You have some brothers that's going with the floating Sabbath, right? You have some brothers, they'll say, well, today is the Feast of Tabernacles, it's the 14th. Then somebody else will come on, you'll go online and see somebody else celebrating it on the 27th. Because Paul's gonna say, well, look, man, don't judge, listen, they trying to do it. So as long as they trying to do it, I don't judge them on what day or whatever, because that's what a lot of us get into. It's a lot of dispute about stuff like this, and that's baby stuff. Because the brothers doing it. But let's look at this verse 14. One man esteem one day above another, and another esteem every day alike. Let every man be persuaded in his own mind. Now, so yeah, fully persuaded. Now it's another one that says, to him that esteems anything, to him it is unclean. Is that what you were talking about too, or no?
No, I was just wondering if he was talking about meats that were sacrificed to idols.
Okay, let's look at this. Hold on a minute. Let's do this here. Because we got to find out who esteem, what esteem means. Okay, I'm just going to go here. Because, I mean, again, even if we got into that, right? Even if we got into that, when you go to these places to eat out at, how do you know if they're somebody prayed over them or something in the back?
No.
Right, none of us does. That's why we supposed to pray over our food, right?
Yep.
Let's see something. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all something. Yes. Okay. Let's look at this real quick. Okay, let's go down to the 14th verse. I know I'm persuaded that Yahushua HaMashiach, that there is nothing unclean of itself, because we know it can't be. Why? Because it's created for a job. Like, we know that the crab is not unclean of itself. Why? Because it was in shrimp, not unclean of itself. Why?
No, it was there for some other purpose.
Exactly. But to him that esteemeth anything unclean, to him it is unclean. So let's go see what this word means. To him that esteemeth. To recount, to reckon, to count, compute, calculate, count over, to take in account, to make an account, to pass to one's account, to impute, right? In other words, impute, when he says sin cannot be imputed where there is no commandments. See, so you can't be charged. The one that charges it to be unclean. A thing is reckoned or as something as availing to be or equivalent. Let's see. Deemed to judge. So to him that judges it to be unclean, it is unclean. So who is the one that judges it to be unclean?
Who said it?
Or either right here, to determine.
Purpose.
Right, purpose, decide.
God decided.
Yep.
He determined it. He esteemed it.
Right. So that's who esteems it to be unclean. Now, if I'm right here and I see somebody praying over it and they saying, "Oh, Molech, please," I mean, of course I'm not going to eat it. Right. That's like the other scripture where it says, where Paul says, asking no question, just eat it. I mean, if you at somebody's house and they put a pork chop on your plate, you already know you're not going to eat it.
No.
So a lot of stuff that Paul writes, you gotta remember, you got these people that done did all these different things. So let's do this here. All right, now here's another tool we can use to get a better understanding. Because we in class, I'm not even worried about what. Now here's the Aramaic parallel. Remember, this is the Q Bible, qbible.com. And you got all kind of ways that you could use this book. Now, here you got the King James Version parallel. Look at all these different King James versions you can use, all the way back to 1750, 1611. That's why I told y'all, you don't have to go out and buy these Bibles unless you want to. I buy books because I like to have them, so when they snatch this stuff down, I can still do what I need to do. You have the Apocrypha right here, right? King James parallel. It's going to show you both sides, and we're going to look at that. Okay? The Aramaic New Testament, right? Which is the Peshitta. Then you come down here, you have the LXX Septuagint, right? The Greek writings, when they translated it from the Hebrew back into the Greek, because the people had forgot Hebrew. So the scholars the elders was trying to help them so they can come back to Yah. So you have all these tools up here, the Bishop Bible, Geneva Bible, right? But let's go here. Let me show you guys something. Now here's the Aramaic parallel. Okay, let's go into that. And that was Romans, right?
Yeah, 14.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what we got to get to that. Because we know the one who esteems it to be a certain way is the one we got to obey, because Yah is the one that esteemed it or decided it.
Oh, I see it right here from the beginning. Who
Okay,
is feeble in the faith.
right. Because you got a lot of people that's feeble in the faith.
Yeah,
See, that's why I tell y'all to use this, because you're going to
Okay.
get this Aramaic Peshitta, you're going to get a better understanding than in this King James.
okay.
Let's go
Yeah,
down.
'cause King James says who is weak in the faith.
Right. For I know and am persuaded, and see, now look how they say it, and the sovereign Jeshu, that a thing which is unclean from itself is not. We know that. There's nothing that's unclean of itself. Because I mean, whatever it was created to do, the animals, the plants, the insects,
Yah said
the
it was
fish,
good.
he said he created them and they was good. Because guess what? They still good, because when it's time to fly south, they flying south. When it's time to hibernate, they hibernate.
Mhm.
Right? Everything does what it's supposed to do except this man. Right? That a thing which is unclean from itself is not. But to him who judges of anything that's polluted, to him only is it polluted. Now, if I like to eat shrimp, to me, it ain't unclean. But the one who esteemed it to be unclean, it's unclean to him. So, yeah, because I mean, we used to go fishing all the time in around New Orleans area, Florida. We used to fish with live shrimp, right? But we wasn't eating them. The fish was eating them. Now watch this. But we know that the one that decided it was unclean was Yahuwah. So to him, it's unclean. So if to eat, because I can pet a pig all day, I just can't eat it. Now, then people will say, well, that means, well, then, but why? Because it's a bottom feeder. Didn't he say you can't eat a horse? It's unclean to you to eat? Didn't he say a camel was unclean to you to eat?
Yep.
Okay, they don't eat, they eat grass and thorns and bushes and stuff like this. So camels do anyway. So the whole point about it is, the whole point about being unclean to me, it might not be unclean, but to my maker, it is unclean. So if I want to be in covenant with him, it's going to be unclean to me. That's it.
Got it.
See, even right here, he says, then judge not one another, but this determined rather to lay not a stumbling block for our brother. Because again, when we go back into, talking about the feast days, people don't know what the new moon is. Go out there and say, man, man, what you gonna do in the new moon? They're like, what? See, but that he's talking about people that understand these commandments, and they're doing this day and they're doing that day. These people are saying Yahweh. We say Yahuwah. Over here they saying Ahaya. You understand what I'm saying? Over here they saying Yahweh Shai. But guess what? They trying to keep the commandments. So we can't judge each other in the things and how we worship him. Okay, we having a feast day on the 15th. They having it on the 27th. This is what Paul is talking about. But again, when you don't have these type of tools to go and look deeper, go look deeper. When you just have to, when you have to just rely on just looking down at this King James Version Bible, I'm telling you, it's gonna have you believe in all kinds of stuff. Because again, even Peter warned you that those that are unlearned, trying to read Paul's writings, they get confused. See, or they're feeble in the faith. Because they don't really have any ruach. They don't have any understanding. They have not been taught the right way. They don't have a good teacher that's instructing them like this. So they don't know about these other tools. This is why we keep giving y'all these other tools to use. See? Now, does that help you out?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, see, even right down here, he said, for there is not one of us who liveth for himself, and there is not one who died for himself. Everything always goes back to Yahuwah. We just have to keep reading. And if we still confused, then we have to go ahead and use one of these tools, this Blue Letter Bible, this Q Bible. You can go here and they got tools, or, what I like about this, let me show you guys something else with this. Now, if I went here, let's see. This is the, let me see, that's the Aramaic Peshitta. Let me show you something about, let me show you with this LXX, what you can do. And let's see, let's show you something else with this. Come on, don't start acting crazy now. It's acting up. Hold on a minute. I'm hoping it comes back.
Go to home,
Where?
right here.
Oh, I know. Man, I don't know if that's gonna do it though. Because you see, it's over here. It's,
Okay.
there we go. Let's look at this right here. Now this is the best. This is what I use when I run into a problem with the King James. This is a question or something in this thing. And I use a Bible Hub too, because I can look it up I can try to look it up in the Hebrew. But let's just say, for example, right here. And we go to this chapter 2. You see all these things right here? See, I can go right here and it's gonna tell me an Elohim, see, God's in the ordinary sense. See, it's gonna give me a little bit more understanding. In other words, now let's click on one, like here. Now, it's gonna give me a couple of different things. It's gonna give me the Hebrew Dictionary Lexicon Concordance for free. I don't have to buy anything if I don't want to. I just do, like I told you, I just see, here's the Hebrew letters. It's gonna tell me how to say Elohim, right? Aleph, Lamed, right? Y'all see that?
Yep.
Okay, the Mem and Yod and all that. But anyway, it's gonna tell me how to say it. It's gonna give me the H number that I want, right? Then it's gonna give me a Hebrew word study, transliteration, pronunciation, etymology, and grammar, right? And that's a hey, by the way. And it's gonna ruler, judge, divine ones, angels, gods. See, so this is when they worship that calf, they was dealing with other divine ones. Because you got to remember, Hasatan is Elohim. Why? Because he was thrown out of the Shamayim. So he's part of the Elohim. He's just cut off. But he still can go here and there. He still comes before the Father and appears before the Father. And he asks him, what you've been doing today? You know, so, and he causes you to worship him. This is why we got to be careful. See, so let's go down here. Now we even got a deeper understanding because we got the Brown Driver's Briggs, Old Testament Hebrew lexicon. See, Strong's Hebrew and Chaldee dictionary. You just got so many tools up here, and then they're gonna give you all the scriptures you ever will, your little heart wanted to even think about. You go look the same thing up. That's why we use these two. And Yahuwah has been so gracious to put it right here for you to use. It's just up to us to be diligent. And I'm gonna leave it just like that, right? All right, now, since we done got all that, let me get out of here and let's get on with the class. All right, I hope that helped everybody.
It helped me.
All right, now you guys can see this new application, right?
Yeah.
That's what we got to always remember. To him, that is, because I was going to use that Q Bible this today for this class to go through this book here, but that's okay. You guys can go behind me, but I guarantee you're gonna be like, well, wait a minute, what happened to this whole section right here? Because the whole section is gonna be missing. You're gonna be able to see what they added, and then when they put stuff in brackets, that means that they added that to make it sound better. That's why I like that. When I first started really studying, that's the first tool that I actually started using. All right, let's go to Exodus chapter 13 now. We want to make sure that we use these tools that we have. And if you got a question, I tell you all the time, don't sit up and wonder. If you can't figure it out, call me. I know I don't care. We'll get up here and break it down. It's up to you, because I don't care about getting up here and break it down. It's up to you. You got the time to go through to find out the answer to the question that you asked me. That's what you got to weigh out, because you asked me a question. I'm just being nice this morning, but we got this class. We might be up here for an hour, because I want to make sure you understand it. Exodus chapter 13. Trey, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna read Exodus chapter 13 chapter. And again, I don't care. I'm not in no hurry for this stuff because we in class. And so it is what it is. This is for our class. And I want to make sure that all y'all that's in this class understand these things. So then right now, we done went through the firstborn. We done seen how everything was working. We know who the firstborn was. We know who was doing all these all these burnt offerings, right? Because that's what they are, all these old burnt offerings before the priesthood got here. But now we see that the golden calf didn't happen. Thanks to Sister Yasmin, we got a deeper understanding on what they actually did and why they got cut off in the wilderness. Because all that wickedness that they did, they committed adultery. We understand exactly now what they did because we just went through that. Now we're going to see how this next priesthood was being set up. Come on, son. Go ahead and start reading that verse 1.
At verse 1 or verse 4?
Verse 1, Exodus chapter 13. That's what we're going to read.
All right. Exodus chapter 13. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moses, saying, sanctify unto me all the firstborn. Whatsoever opens the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast, it is mine. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which you came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of the hand of Yahuwah brought you out of this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came out in the month of Abib, and it shall be when Yahuwah shall bring you into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he swore unto your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month.
All right, so we talking about Jerusalem, actually. Go ahead, man. That's the land he promised to give them. Go ahead.
7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast to Yahuwah. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall no leavened bread be seen with you, neither shall there be leaven seen within all of your quarters. And you shall show your son in that day, saying, this is done because of what Yahuwah did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt.
Okay, so now you understand why we do the unleavened bread, right? Along with the Passover, right? Because they usually go hand in hand. This is why the Mashiach, what did they had bread, or it doesn't say on, I don't know if, I can't remember right now if it says unleavened bread, but the Passover, all that stuff was it was all involved. He dipped the bread and he handed it over to the next. Ain't that what it said? See, because he had to make sure he did each one of these steps, and he did. Even with the resurrection, even with the wave offering. We're gonna learn, we're gonna learn about that later on. But this is why we're going through this priesthood. Because now, see, the more you understand about this priesthood, when you start dealing with the Mashiach, because he is a high priest, and you start looking at some of these other stories, for our example, it's going to be so easy for you. You're not going to be confused no more. Go ahead, Trey.
Verse 9, and it shall be for a sign unto you upon your hand, and for a memorial between your eyes, that Yahuwah's law may be in your mouth. For with a strong hand has Yahuwah brought you out of Egypt.
Did you see what he just said? Read that again, Trey.
Verse 9, be for a sign unto you upon your hand, and for a memorial between your eyes, that Yahuwah's law may be in your mouth. For with a strong hand has Yahuwah brought you out of the land of Egypt.
Okay, Jasmine, our official Blue Letter Bible editor, can you please give me the word sign?
Yes.
So that means we need you up here all the time now, because you're our official Blue Letter interpreter editor. Go ahead.
It's H number 226. It means a token, and sign, a signal, a miracle, a warning.
A warning. So here it is. This is a warning for you. See, in other words, it's a token between me and you. It's like a sign. Like when you do this, that everybody else is supposed to say, okay, they must be Hebrews, and they must belong to Yahuwah because they keep it this day. See, but again, going back to what we said earlier in Romans 14, how can I judge you? I mean, I can't. If I walk down the street and ask somebody about to break down to me about unleavened, they're gonna be like, man, I don't know what that is. So I can't judge. See, so how can I judge him? He don't even know nothing about it anyway. So this is talking about people that understand this type of stuff. But it's also a warning. See, he's warning you. This is what you need to do, and that Yahuwah's law may be in your mouth. See, he's telling you right here. But if you don't read this and you don't know nothing about it, and you just out on the corner or you somewhere shopping and whatever you're doing, if you're not studying this like we is, you don't know what that is. So how can I judge you in that? Because you don't know nothing about it anyway. This is talking about people that understand these things. And that's going back and forth about what day is what. But again, it's a token between you and him. It's like a mark saying that, like you have a sheep or a horse or something, you brand it. That belongs to me. So that's what he's saying. They belong to me because they got my mark on them, is what he's saying. See? But it's also a warning to us that we need to do this no matter what. No matter who's doing what, no matter who in your family is going through, it don't matter. He is your father. This is your family. This is what you're supposed to be doing. No matter what, it's a warning. Go ahead, son.
Verse 10. You shall therefore keep this ordinance in his season from year to year. And it shall be when Yahuwah shall bring you into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore unto you and your fathers, and shall give it to you.
Okay, hold on. You got to stop right there. Jasmine, we need the word ordinance.
H number. H number 2708. It means a statute, a limit, something prescribed.
Oh, something prescribed. So we know it's a statute, right? And or Hokim. It's a Hokim. What we've been learning about Hokim and Mishpatim. This is how he wants you to treat him. So it's a Hokim. If it was a Mishpatim, then he's gonna say, if I seen your neighbor's sheep falling in the ditch, like the Mashiach said, who gonna see their neighbor's animal in the ditch and they ain't gonna help them out on the Sabbath day? See? Y'all understand what I'm saying? But it's a law. It's a statute. It's part of what was attached to the 10 laws or the 10 commandments. This is how you treat him. This is what I want you to do, so I know that you love me. Thank you. Go ahead, Trey.
Verse 12. You shall set apart unto Yahuwah all that opens the matrix, and every firstling that comes of a beast which you have. The male shall be Yahuwah. And every firstling of a donkey you shall redeem with a lamb, and you will not redeem it. Then you shall break his neck, and all the firstborn of man among your children shall you redeem.
Go ahead.
And it shall be when your son asks you in time to come, saying, what is this? That you shall say unto him, by strength of hand, Yahuwah brought us out of Egypt from the house of bondage.
Right, because we know the right hand or the yod is who? The Mashiach. See, because Mashiach is all over this book. Go ahead.
And it came to pass when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that Yahuwah slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beasts. Therefore I sacrifice to Yahuwah all that opens the matrix, being males, but all the firstborn of my children are redeemed.
Go ahead.
And it shall be for a token upon your hand and frontlets between your eyes, for by strength of hand, Yahuwah brought us forth out of Egypt.
Right, and you'll see some brothers walking around like that. They had a head wrapped and they have a frontlet between their eyes. That's to remind them, because maybe they can't remember. See, but I mean, you know, but it doesn't say you have to do that. He said it will be as, you know. So if you need a reminder, then remind yourself. If you need to tie something on your hand, then do that. But them fringes, that's a commandment. It's just that simple. But I mean, people do what they want, so let them do what they want. You just got to make sure that you are doing everything that you need to do to comply, that you fully persuaded in your mind. That's what you need to do. If you ain't fully persuaded, then you ain't fully persuaded. But guess what? Brother Saul ain't going to judge you in meats and drinks and none of that stuff. I'm not going to do that. That's between you and Yah.
That's right.
And what book was that?
We in Exodus chapter 13. Go ahead, Trey.
All right.
Oh, that was Romans chapter 14. I keep pointing back to, because those are the two chapters we had questions on. And so I want to make sure I address them. So you got to be persuaded in your own mind. If you ain't persuaded in your own, like brother called me, well, man, see, you need to be doing this and that. You wrong with that. Hold on, brother. What did Paul say? But see, now then it went into Paul. Well, you know, you really don't know who Paul is because he reads some book, the Argonauts of the apostles or something. Who knows? I don't know. But again, if you ain't persuaded in your own mind, you're not gonna do it.
That's right.
It's just that simple. I don't care how many classes we do up here. You ain't persuaded that this is what we're supposed to be doing, then you're not gonna do it. And guess what? At this stage in the game, and with the things I'm going through too now, I'm not worrying about whether you do it or not. I'm trying to make sure Brother Saul do it. You understand? I'm just telling y'all what it is. It's up to you to do whatever you want to do. Go ahead, Trey.
Verse 17. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that Yahuwah led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For Elohim said, lest peradventure the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt.
Okay.
But Elohim led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt.
Okay. Where you at?
Verse 19.
Go ahead. And
And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, Elohim will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones away hence with you. And they took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham in the edge of the wilderness. And Yahuwah went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night.
Now, when you go to the book of Sirach, it's going to tell you that the Ruach HaKodesh went before them. How could that be? Because it's the Elohim. That's how they roll. When they all Akkad. When you see one, you see the other one. Ain't that what the Mashiach told them? Look, man, you talking about show us a father, don't look at me. When you see me, baby, you seen the Father. Because we do alike, we say alike, we touch alike, we talk alike. See, I speak his words. I ain't telling you what I'm saying, I'm telling you what he's telling me to tell you. Go ahead, Trey.
Verse 22, took not away the pillar of cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people.
Okay, so we see that he traveling with them because at this point, he's leading them out to get married. That's basically what's happening right here. He's leading his bride out to the wedding site, which is Mount Sinai. And that's where they're going to take the vow. And we see later on in chapter 32, as soon as they get married, here it is, the priest, he lead everybody have a good time. They eat, because remember they said they ate and they saw the Elohim, right? So they sat there, they ate, they had a good reception and all that. And then the next night, as soon as everybody gone, what did she do? She go out and commit adultery. This is basically what happened. Let's go to Numbers chapter 3, Trey. And that's something that we got in our blood, because the book says that Israel is perpetual backslider. That's just in us. So we it's like we got something we got to fight harder, because we just seem like we just refuse to do right. And I know that. I can look at myself. Numbers chapter 3. Come on, Trey. Start at verse 1.
Numbers chapter 3, verse. These are the generations of Aaron and Moses in the day that Yahuwah spoke with Moses in Mount Sinai. And these are the names of the son of Aaron: Nadab, the firstborn, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar.
You'll notice how they made sure you understood the firstborn again, because this is what we on right now. See, they just keep throwing it in your face. Go ahead, man.
These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the priests which were anointed, whom he consecrated to minister in a priest's office.
Okay, hold on. Jasmine, I need the word consecrated.
Consecrated means to feel, to be satisfied, to be accomplished, to confirm, to complete.
Mm-hmm.
Abundance.
Mm-hmm.
To mask themselves against.
Okay, great. So we see that, in other words, he's saying that he set them apart for his office. That's what consecrated means, but that's great. Thank you, Jasmine. Come on, Trey. Trey? Okay.
And Nadab, Abihu died before Yahuwah when they
Okay,
offered.
you fell off for a minute. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's right. You're right. Go ahead. Verse 4. I'm sorry. Yep, you're right. Go ahead, son.
When they offered fires before Yahuwah in the wilderness of Sinai, and they had no children. And Eleazar and Ithamar ministered in the priest's office in the sight of Aaron, their father.
Right, because they done offered up a strange offering. So that's why we got to make sure that we try to be as right as possible before we get down and before we stand with our hands spread before Yahuwah to pray. We want to make sure that we, I can't eat no pork chop sandwich and get down there and start trying to pray to him. That's strange. Because he already done told you not to do that. Once he give you an instruction on something, you're supposed to do it like he instructs us. So when people be like, I prayed and this and that, and I'm like saying, I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. You just we did the restaurant. You just ordered some hog maws. You talking about I mean, I don't say nothing to him because I know it's going to be an argument. But I know the book say that, it's an abomination to him. He ain't hearing that. If you feel that, but if you want to feel like he hear you, then go ahead. I'm just telling you what the book said. Go ahead, Trey.
Verse 5. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moses, saying, bring the tribe of Levi near and present them before Aaron the priest, that they may minister unto him.
Okay, so now we see that he has the sons, who is the nucleus. These are the ones that we're going to learn later on is going to be able to move around inside the tabernacle. But now he's going to bring the rest of the tribe to come and minister or come and work for him, because he gave Aaron a charge. And we know a charge is a job, a task. The task is to be high priest. His sons is involved in that, so they're going to be inside the tabernacle. Now he's bringing the rest of the Levites in, and we're going to show you why he did that. But first, let's go ahead and do this now. But we learned last week what they did to redeem themselves. Who can tell me what they did to redeem themselves?
Kill people of Mount Sinai.
Exactly. What'd you say?
Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they did. They put their swords on and went to work. Anybody remember how many thousands it was? Okay, well, we got crickets, so that's okay. Just go
I
back
think
and
it was
read.
3,000.
Okay, there we go. 3,000. That's it. All right, y'all making me feel good. Somebody learning. Praise y'all. Come on, Trey.
verse 7. And they shall keep his charge in charge of the whole congregation for the tabernacle of the congregation to do the service of the tabernacle. And they shall keep all the instruments of the tabernacle of the congregation and the charge of the children of Israel to do service of the tabernacle.
Right, this is the charge. It's their job. It's something that they're commanded to do, and it's their job. And they're gonna take care of all the instruments, see, of the tabernacle, of the congregation, or the church. Verse 9, go ahead.
And you shall give the Levites unto Aaron and to his sons. They are wholly given unto him out of the children of Israel.
Right, so they wholly give. They all belong to him. They all under his command. Go ahead.
And you shall appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall wait on the priest's office. And the stranger that comes near shall be put to death.
Right, so the stranger, the foreigner cannot approach to do nothing. And not just a foreigner, it's anybody that's not Levi, because you are strange to him, because he's already given them a charge. So no matter who you are, if you are not Israel or you Israel, if you ain't a Levi, you ain't got no business coming up around this tabernacle unless you bring in some type of oblation. That's it. Go ahead, Trey.
All right.
Oh, I'm tripping. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moses, saying, And I behold, I have taken to the Levites from among the children, I have taken to the Levites from among the children of Israel, instead of all the firstborn that open the matrix among the children of Israel. Therefore the Levites shall be mine.
Right. So now the firstborn done lost their job because they was right in the mix when they was down there partying with that other Elohim, right? Because it said they rose up to play. We know how Israel like to play. We got the blues playing outside. We got barbecue going on. It's drinking and all kind of other stuff happening at the same time. Cars all lined up and down the street. You can't even get in your driveway because they rising up to play. That's what Israel likes to do. They like to rise up and play. Still in us, right? Every Friday, Saturday, we got to go to the club and get a new outfit so I can look sharp. That's what it is. That's in us. Go ahead, Trey.
Okay. Verse 13.
Yes.
Because all the firstborn are mine, for on the day that I smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, I hallowed unto me all the firstborn in Israel, both man and beast. Mine shall they be. I am Yahuwah.
Right. Now, when he says, I am Yahuwah, that's it. There is nothing else to be questioned. Because when he's tell you something, he said, I am Yahuwah. It's a wrap. That's it. It cannot be changed. He ain't going to change it. Don't come to him asking him to change it. It's a wrap. That's it. Go ahead, Trey.
And Yahuwah spoke unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, saying, Number the children of Levi after the house of their fathers, by their family, every male from a month old and upward shall you number them.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses numbered them according to the word of Yahuwah as he was commanded.
As he was commanded. This brother ain't playing. As soon as he get the command, he make a move. He don't start wondering and he don't start trying to figure out, should I do this or not? He fully persuaded in his mind, I got to do it right now. Go ahead, Trey.
All right. Verse 17. And these were the sons of Levi by their names, Gershon and Kohath, Merari.
Right. Now, I want y'all to remember these. Write down Gershom, Kohath, and Merari. Because we're going to find out exactly who they are later on and what their job is, because they each have a charge that's going to be given to them, right? Okay, go ahead, Trey.
And their families, Issachar, Hebron, and Uziel. And the son of Merari by their families, Mali and Mushi. These are the families of the Levites, according to the house of their fathers. Of Gershon, there was the family of the Lebnites and the family of the Shemites. These are the families of the Gershonites. Those that were numbered of them according to the number of all the males from a month old and upward, even those that were numbered of them were 7,500. The families of the Gershonites shall pitch behind the tabernacle westward. And the chief of the house of the Gershonites shall be Eleazar, the son of Lael. And the charge of the sons of Gershon and the tabernacle of the congregation shall be the tabernacle and the tent and the covering thereof, and the hanging for the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Okay, stop right there. Let's look up. I want y'all to look up at the screen. Now, this is how they shall encamp facing the tent of meeting. This is what he's trying to tell you how everything's going to be. Here's Gershonites. Here are the Kothites. Here's Merari. See, here's Aaron and his sons, and here's Moshe. See, then you have Benjamin, Ephraim, Manasseh, Asher, Dan, Naphtali, Issachar, Judah, Zebulun, Gad, Reuben, Simeon. This is how the camp was set up. Then you have all the other Israelites around them. So when he says take up a banner, each one of these have their own banner to mark who they are. And this is how they marched. So when they had to take this, it was like an army, but at the same time, a community. This is why they had to have commandments, because you have a commander. Here's the commander's tent right here. Anybody that's been in the military. Donnell, you understand this. Trey, you understand this. Here's the commander's tent. Here's the company commander's tent, or whoever, however you want to put it. First sergeant is right here, is Moshe. See what I'm saying? Here's the sergeants, Aaron and his sons. And then here's the rest of, I mean, so it's anytime they marched, they had to take up a banner, and they went in the order that they had to march in, just like a military. And this is what we got to understand. So again, but in this instance, this is a king. And these are all generals. You can look at it that way if you want to. And they're going to make it happen. And then here's the troops out here. So whenever that's why they numbering them, because they're trying to find out what kind of ransom they got to pay for being, see, the ransom, you're going to learn that later on. There was a ransom paid, right? Because he rescued them out of Egypt. And also the ransom was also to give to the Levites. And the ransom also went into taking care of the tent. Because we're going to show you later on, they're going to use this ransom. This is how they're going to build the tabernacle. This is how for the tent poles and all this. We ain't got there yet, but we're going to get there. Because Yahuwah does not do any, that's why you can't miss anything in this book. It doesn't matter how boring it may seem, but it's a reason behind it. Yahuwah does nothing. He doesn't do anything without a reason. You just got to keep reading so you can find out what the reason is. All right. Come on, Trey. Keep reading, son.
Verse 26. And the hangings of the court and the curtain for the door of the court, which is by the tabernacle and by the altar round about, and the chorus of it for all the service thereof. And of Kahath was the family of the Amorites, and the family of the
Amramites. I'm not, usually I don't correct you, but I got to do that now, because Amorites is our mortal enemy. So Amramites. Go ahead, son.
Amramites, and the family of the Ezrahites, and the family of the Hebronites, and the family of the Uzielites. These are the families of the Kahathites.
Right, right. Because when we up here, we just went through and said the names of the son of Gershon by their family, the names of the son of Kohath by the, see what I'm saying? So it's just naming the brothers now. It's just giving you Levites. It's just giving you some other names of Levites. That's all. Go ahead, son.
And the number of all the from a month old and upward were 8,600, keeping the charge of the sanctuary.
Okay, so the number of all the males from a month old and upward were 8,600, keeping the job to take care of the sanctuary. That's what he's saying. Go ahead, Trey.
The families of the sons of Kohath shall pitch on the side of the tabernacle southward.
Okay, so this is southward. Look up. Southward right here. Go ahead, Trey.
And the chief of the house of the father of the family of the Kehathites shall be Elizaphan, the son of Uziel.
Mm-hmm.
And their charge shall be the ark and the table and the candlestick and the altars and the vessels of the sanctuary wherewith they minister, and the hanging and all the service thereof.
Okay, so we see what's their job? Their job is to go inside the tabernacle. Now, but you got to understand, they're not supposed to be in there because that's the charge that Aaron was given. So how are they going to do that then, Saul? All that stuff when they got ready to move. Now it's going to start to click to you. See, when they got ready, every time when the cloud raised up, when the cloud came down, then they know they could pitch. So they had to set up all this stuff. And again, if you ever been in the military, I don't know about some of y'all younger ones, but I know when I was in, we had them pup tents. You had to carry that stuff around with you everywhere you went. And then when they said, okay, we're going to do bivouac right here. Well, we've been walking all night long. Now you had to go out and dig a foxhole. And then you still had to go ahead and set up the bivouac. So everywhere they go, they had to set this stuff up. But while they were setting the tents up out here for the regular soldiers, here you got Kohath and them. They had to make sure that they carried all the furniture that was in the tabernacle. This is what they did: the ark, the table, the candlestick, the altars, the vessels, and the sanctuary wherein they shall minister, and the hanging and all the service thereof. So every time they got ready to move, Aaron and them had to cover all the instruments, because they went in there and touched anything uncovered, it was sure death. So that Aaron and them had to make sure they covered everything. Now that's the other argument and where the other jealousy came from. Because all Aaron and them, once they did that, they just walked out. Now here everybody else got to break this stuff down. We're going to show you, that's why I'm going through this. So now they got to go inside and get all the instruments, the Kohathites, and pack up everything and take it while they marching. Now he might have them walking for a whole year with this stuff. And then we're going to set a bivouac right here. Oh man, this man, I know I should be like, man, this brother tripping. My feet hurt now. Now we got to do this all over again. It's what it is. But guess what? You can't disobey a direct order, because it's going to mean death. That's just what it is. So if you've been in the military, it's easy to see this is a military camp. Go ahead, son. Keep reading.
Verse 30.
Mm-hmm.
And Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, shall be chief over the chief of the Levites, and have the oversight of them, and keep the charge of the sanctuary.
So Eleazar is the chief over the chief. He is the captain or the lieutenant over that area. Basically what it's saying, right?
Mhm.
Or the major, because remember, Yahuwah he's the general. So you're gonna have these others. So I'm just trying to put it in terms so y'all might be able to understand. Go ahead, Trey.
Of Merari was the family of Malites, and the family of the Mushites. These are the families of Merari. And those that were number of them, according to the number of all the males, from a month old and upward, were 6,200.
Mm-hmm.
And the chief of the house of the father of families of Merari was Uriel, the son of Abihail. These shall pitch on the side of the tabernacle northward.
Okay, so here's Merari. He's on the north side of the tabernacle. You see how they had a little west, south, north, east? They got the little compass right there to help you out. So here it is. Here's Merari. He's on the north side. Go ahead.
And under the custody and charge of the sons of Merari shall be the boards of the tabernacle, and the bars thereof, and the pillar thereof, and the sockets thereof, and all the vessels thereof, and all that serve thereto.
Go ahead.
And the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cord.
Okay, so these y'all need to be circling these because we're gonna see these later on now. But now here, so that way you surely gonna understand. That's why I take the time to do this type of stuff. For y'all can see, have a visual, because I know we visually type of people, and most people anyway. So this is trying to help y'all out. Now, so guess what? Merari, what he got to do? All these little pillars, they got to take them up. Because they got to be strapped down and pulled tight for the tent to stay like it's supposed to stay. So to stand erect. Then all the little, each one of these got like we're gonna see later on, they got these little wires that you got to secure the tent with all the way around. Then they all got a base that got to come up. Then they all got tops that got to come up. Then they all got pins that got to go in each one of them to make the tabernacle. This is what this cat got. This is what they have to do every time the cloud moves. See, they was happy when they stayed there for a year or so, because they was out there 40 years now. So who knows? Yahuwah, man, he might get mad. Okay, you know what? I'm tired of these rascals. Y'all just keep doing it. I don't put plagues on. All right, we just gonna march. That's what they used to do to us. We just gonna march. We gonna march. We gonna march. And so every time they move, this is Merari's job. He's in charge of all these things. Go ahead, Trey.
Oh, hold on. Before Trey speak, do we know how many times they moved in 40 years?
No, but it gives you examples. It tells you when the cloud lifted up, they had to move. When the cloud settled down, he said sometime it might be a year, sometime it might be that, sometime it might be this. I'll text you the scripture right now. Go ahead, Trey.
Verse 38. But those that encamp before the tabernacle toward the east, even before the tabernacle of congregation eastward, shall be Moses and Aaron and his sons, keeping the charge of the sanctuary for the charge of the children of Israel. And a stranger that comes near shall be put to death. All that were numbered of the Levites, which Moses and Aaron numbered at the commandment of Yahuwah throughout their families, all the males from the month old and upward were 20 and 2,000.
Okay, who we on right now?
Verse 40.
Okay, go ahead.
And Yahuwah said unto Moses, number all the firstborn of the males of the children of Israel from a month old and upward, and take the number of their names, and you shall take the Levites for me. I am Yahuwah, instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the cattle of Levites instead of all the firstlings among the cattle of the children of Israel. And Moses numbered, as Yahuwah commanded him, all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and all the firstborn males by the number of names, from a month old and upward, of those that were numbered of them were 20 and 2,203 score and 13. And Moses spoke, and Yahuwah spoke unto Moses, saying, take the Levites instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the cattle of the Levites instead of their cattle, and the Levites shall be mine. I am Yahuwah. And those that are to be redeemed, and 203 score and 13 of the firstborn of the children of Israel, which are more than the Levites. You shall even take 5 shekels apiece by the pole, after the shekel of the sanctuary shall you take them.
That's excuse me 1 second. Down there, that's Exodus 40 and 36. It's in the 40th chapter. Sorry, son. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure he got it right away. Go ahead.
No, I I got that.
Okay.
I mean, you say Exodus 40, chapter 3, verses 36, right?
Exodus chapter 40 and verse 36 and Numbers
40.
chapter 9, verse 17.
40 and 36. All right.
All right, where you at, Trey? I was just looking for that for him. I'm sorry, y'all. Go ahead, Trey. Where you at?
Verse 48.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, then verse 30, then thou shalt even take 5 shekels apiece by the pole. After the shekel of the sanctuary, thou shalt take them. The shekel is 20 gerahs. So here we take the ransom now. Go ahead. Thou shalt give the money. Go ahead.
And you shall give the money wherewith the odd number of them is to be redeemed unto Aaron and to his sons. And Moses took the redemption money of them that were over and above them that were redeemed by the Levites.
Mm-hmm.
Of the firstborn of the children of Israel, took he the money 1,365 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses gave the money of them that were redeemed unto Aaron and to his sons according to the word of Yahuwah, as Yahuwah commanded Moses.
Okay, so you see, so that's why I be wondering. I be like, why come the pastors always use that one talking about so that my storehouse be fat in Malachi? How come they don't never read this? Because they don't know nothing about this. Okay, we're gonna read down verse chapter 4. We're gonna look at a couple of things because we seem like we missed something here. Go ahead and start reading that verse 1, 4 and 1.
Oh, by the way, Trey, great job on those names. Excellent,
Absolutely.
excellent.
Hey, real quick, I would like to interject real quick. With him naming those 22,000 Levites, when they say a multitude came out of Egypt and now they were at Mount Sinai and now they're in the wilderness and they're getting ready they start doing these numbering. You know, I was under the impression that, from my understanding, there was 1 million plus people that came out of Egypt. But if he just numbered only 22,000 people that were Levites, and now you got, the rest of the children of Israel, I don't see how that could be 1 million people. I mean, even when you add in the strangers, that means that there really wasn't that many Levites. I mean, Israelites, then, correct?
Well, you just what did you do? You added up all the Levites together?
So I just took the number of the Levites, and then I was just guesstimating. If it's 22,000 Levites, and then you add in the rest of the children of Israel, even if there was 22,000 or 50,000 or 30, 40, 50,000, it doesn't seem like it would be 1 million.
Well, you got to think about this. It doesn't tell us how many of the tribe of Ephraim, how many Manasseh, how many Asher, how many Benjamin, how many Reuben. It also doesn't tell us how many strangers.
So that number I got, that was 1 million plus. I feel like I've heard this throughout the years, that there was 1 million plus that came out of bondage, and these were Israelites and they were strangers. But I'm just looking at it couldn't have been no more than like 400,000 or something like that, even though it doesn't really say. But if I'm looking at
some people say
look like that many.
Some people say 600,000, but who knows? I mean, that's something that we don't know, because it doesn't really give us. Even when David numbered the people, it still doesn't tell us how many from each tribe it was, and it still doesn't tell us how many strangers came out or how many foreigners came out with them. It doesn't tell us that. When you start looking at 600,000 and 7 and 8 and 1 million, that's just scholars guesstimate. They don't know. That's just that's just scholars interjecting what they think. You see what I'm saying? So we don't know, but we know that he numbered the Levites. So we know when we add all them up how many, but it doesn't even count the Levite women, they wives. It's just telling you the babies from this many months up and up. That's all it's telling you. See, that's for the males. It never gives you the number for the females. So like I said, we don't know. That's just it's nothing wrong with wondering about that. That's good. That tells me that you're doing some research. I love that. But but we don't know because it doesn't tell us. So we just have to go by what's written.
Okay, that's not good. Go ahead, Trey.
Come on, Trey.
So
Yes.
I just had a quick question. So like all the men lived together in the tent, was their wives and children on the sidelines beside them?
It depends on when their service was, because see, later on, David went ahead and gave them different times that they were supposed to come do the work of the tabernacle. But right now, they this is why they had the labor right here. See, look up. See this labor?
Yes.
It's like basically they're with their families, but when it's time to go to work, they come to work. They go in, they do their washing, the ritual washing. Where it's the same thing that's why the Muslim. When I was a Muslim, I used to go to the temple. I had to take off my shoes and I had to wash my face, clean out my nose, my ears, my hands, and my feet. This is where this came from. They call that making wudu. But here we see, because we know when this was happening, Muhammad wasn't even thought about. So this is where all this stuff comes from. So this is what the laver was for. The laver was for, or they call it the sea of brass, or the sea of bronze. This is what this was made for the Levites to clean themselves and change clothes. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna show you how that happened, what they had to, how they was anointed and up. We just haven't got there yet, but we on our way. But this is what this was for. So now at this point, they were with their families, but when they had to come in to do the service, they had to clean themselves up, put on their holy garments, and do the service.
Okay. I was wondering where Miriam's tent was.
I don't know. I mean, it's pretty good, but who knows? Who knows? Okay, but I can only imagine, being as that's Aaron and his sons, and here's Moshe's tent. Miriam had to be somewhere around.
Yeah.
Right? Because remember when they started talking crazy against their brother, what happened to them, right? They got turned leprous.
Leprous.
So that means that she probably was around here somewhere. You know what I mean? She probably was. Okay, come on, Trey. Good. And there's no question that's a bad question. All questions are always good. All right, Trey. I want you to read chapter 4, start at verse 1. We're not gonna read it all. I just want to show y'all something about, because that's what the Gershonites had to do. See, I'm going to show you their job. See, because all these people, that's why the people that murmuring. See, oh, you want to murmur? Okay, we gonna march. So you got to pack up all this stuff and walk and walk and walk. It's hot. They want water. See, all these things was going on at this day. Okay, we're gonna pitch right here. They had to stop, break down all this stuff, put it together. Then the next morning, all right, let's get up. Like they say with us, this time, saddle up. Oh man. So now it's time to walk. You know what I'm saying? When you doing the jump out of the plane thing, it's sweet because boom, you land, you got. But now when you straight legging, every time they say saddle up, it's time to pack up all this stuff again and walk. You might walk 10 miles through woods, up hills, and your legs is burning. And then also, okay, we're gonna stop right here. We're gonna all this. So you set up everything. Then an hour later, saddle up. We got, oh man, this is insane. This is what they going through. But I want y'all to see this other part of this. Go ahead, Trey. You start at verse 1. That's why it's so easy for me to grasp, because I can see that this is a military thing, even the way it's set up. Got all these tents is dress right, every last one of them. See what I'm saying? Everything in this order. And that's how Yah is. See what I'm saying? And he in the middle of all of it, because he said, I want to dwell amongst my people. Go ahead, Trey.
All right. Numbers chapter 4, verse 1. And Yahuwah spoke to Moses and unto Aaron, saying, take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the son of Levi after their families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, all that enter into the host to do the work in the tabernacle of congregation. This shall be the service of the sons of Kohath and the tabernacle of the congregation about the most set apart things. And when the camp set forward, Aaron shall come and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil and cover the ark of testimony with it.
Right, now you got to take down the covering veil, because you got to understand, this tabernacle had layers on it. See, that's why I got this. I was figuring out how I could do this, because I got a scale model here. And that's how I taught myself a lot of this stuff, because I said, I got to get this, because the Spirit just had me do it. And when I put the model together, it has layers, goat, you have to think it's goat, badger, and I mean, so it's like, then I was going trying to find out what kind of animals this was, and one of them you couldn't find out was talking about it was like a sea, a sea lamb or something like that, and one of the other things said it was a manatee. I was like, nah, it can't be no manatee. But I'm just saying, but that's what I was doing. But go ahead, Trey. Let's go on because I get to talking, man. We trying to get through this. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Shall be the servant of the sons of Kahath in the tabernacle of the congregation about the most set apart things. And when the camp set forward, Aaron shall come and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil and cover the ark of the testimony with it.
Right. See, so they taking down this covering veil. See, they inside breaking it down, covering this stuff up. But when Kohath and them come in there, because I told you they can't. We gonna read down to that part right there, and then we gonna move on. But go ahead, Trey.
And shall put thereon covering the badger skin, and shall spread over a cloth wholly of blue, and shall put in the staffs thereof. And upon the table of the showbread, they shall spread a cloth of blue, and put thereon dishes and spoons and bowls, and cover to cover withal. And the continual bread shall be there.
I hear you turning them pages. Ah, yeah, go ahead. I like that. You done weaned yourself off that tablet. I like that, son. Keep up the good work. That's why I want y'all to turn pages so you understand this stuff. Go ahead, Trey.
And they shall spread upon them a cloth of scarlet, and cover the same with a covering of badger's skin, and shall put in the staves thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall take a cloth of blue and cover the candlestick of the light, and his lamp, and his tongs, and his snuff dishes, and the oil vessels thereof, wherewith they minister unto it. And they shall put it and all the vessels thereof within a covering of badger skin, and shall put it upon the bar.
Right, because see, they packing up now. This is how they pack up. So when you see them, you see the little pictures that they had the Levites, and they got the ark, or they got other little things that has like a little blue covering, and they carrying it. That's why they packing up. So this is how they pack up the move. Go ahead, Trey.
And they shall put it and all the vessels thereof within the cover of badger skin, and shall put it upon the bar. And upon the golden altar they shall spread a cloth of blue, and cover it with the covering of badger skin, and shall put it to the staves thereof. And they shall take all the instruments of ministry wherewith they minister the sanctuary, and put them in a cloth of blue, and cover them with the covering of badger skin, and shall put them on the bar.
So that's all the musical instruments, right? Because you remember now, they had a choir. Where you think when you go to church, you get that from? That's who did the singing and playing the instruments and all these things, was the Levites. They did all of that. So when you came to the tabernacle, they was playing music. They was the ones singing, praise Yah, all you nations. That's what all this stuff was going on when you came to that's why you didn't want it. That's why when the Pharisees was cutting people off from coming to the tabernacle, because you didn't want to go with their laws over Yahuwah's law, you felt like you was about to die. Because that was the center of everything. That's where you came to greet and sit down and laugh and talk with the folks. Then that's where you did the mass prayer to Yah, all these things. The tabernacle. That's you going to your father's house. Go ahead, Trent.
All right. Verse 13. And they shall take away the ashes from the altar, and spread a purple cloth thereon. And they shall put upon it all the vessels thereof, wherewith they minister about it, even the censer and flesh hook, and the shovel, and the basins, and all the vessels of the altar. And they shall spread upon it a covering of badger skin, and put the staves of it.
All right,
And
the
put-
flesh hooks, when they cut up everything, that's how they pick the stuff up, or when they were supposed to boil certain things, and that was their portion. Boom, they reached out with the flesh hook and took it. Remember? Well, I ain't gonna worry about that, right? I want y'all to concentrate on this, but this was going on. The censors. Remember when the Elohim put a plague on them for tripping? What did they? Aaron's son had to grab the censer and run out there and put it between the plague and the people. See, all this is in Exodus. So, but now we starting to learn the parts, but everything is being packed up. Parts of the tabernacle. Go ahead with the shovels, where they had to go around and keep it, because the fire had to burn all night on the burnt offering. So they had to go in and move the coals around, like you out there barbecuing. You got to get them ashes out, spread them all around and all this. Go ahead, we're gonna learn about all that. That's why we doing this. So it might take us 8 times to go through this, but so what? I just want y'all to understand what's going on. So when you get to Paul's writing in Hebrews, you like, oh man, I see what that is. Oh, that's right, that's the what's the name? Oh, that's what he talking about. He ain't talking about that, man. You got to understand the tabernacle. That's why you missing that. Let me help you. Go ahead, Trey.
Verse 15. And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of the covering in the sanctuary and the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is set forward after that, the sons of Kohath shall come to bear it, but they shall not touch any holy thing lest they die.
So that's why it had to be covered up. They better not touch nothing, otherwise they gonna die. So I just want y'all to give me, like this right here, y'all can go ahead and just mark this. So I want y'all to read the rest of this, because it's gonna go through the different chords and the pins and all these things that had to go along with it. See? So it's gonna show you all that. It's gonna show you. Jump down to verse 40. Read verse 46 and verse 47, Trey. But I want y'all. This is y'all homework. I want y'all to go through and read the rest of this. Go ahead, Trey.
Verse 46, verse 47. All those that were numbered of the Levites, whom Moses and Aaron and the chief of Israel numbered, after their families and after their house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, everyone that came to do the service of the ministry and the service of the burden and the tabernacle of the congregation.
Right. So I would be too old. So that's why I'm trying to get y'all in shape, so y'all can get out here and handle this thing. All right, now we're gonna stop with that. We're not stopping the class though. Now let's keep rolling. Okay, now
Hold on, Uncle Jeff, before we go to the next thing,
yes.
let me ask this question. In that picture you just showed how the camps are set up. Now maybe I missed something, but why Levi wasn't on there?
Because Levi's portion is Yahuwah. He don't have nothing, because each one of these got a land to go to. They all got a piece of the Canaanites, Jebusites, all that. They had different areas that they got. They got an inheritance. Levi's inheritance is right here. That's why he's the only one that can be in there. Yahuwah Levi's inheritance. But now later on, he's going to get an area that he's going to be given for him to dwell. He's going to get houses and have a city where the Levites are at. That's later on. But right now, this right here is where this is his house. Now, I'm sure they had some tents or something out here somewhere for them, but this is their inheritance right here. This is point to. It's like a shadow picture of how everything is going to be set up. Go ahead, though.
Okay, so Levi. Okay, so Levi, I'm having a brain fart per se right now. Levi, this is not one of the 12 tribes of Israel, then, right?
Well, yes, but at the same time, again, he was taken out. If I'm trying to make it so that you understand, his Yahuwah is his inheritance.
Yeah. Okay. So so these other 12 children up here, so it looked like there would be 13 then, correct?
Well, I thought that before too. Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Cause I'm like, I'm looking at these names and I'm like, well, if Levi is supposed to be one of the 12 tribes of Israel, and I'm counting this up, they look like 13 to me. How do I make sense of that?
Let's go to Joshua chapter 13.
You say Joshua?
Yeah.
All right, Joshua chapter 13.
Started, let me see. Start at verse 12.
All right, Joshua chapter 13, verse 12. And it says, all the kingdoms of Og in Bashan, which reside in Ashtaroth and in Edar, who remained of the remnant of the giants of those for those did Moses smite and cast them out. Nevertheless, the children of Israel expelled not the Gershites nor the Meshites, but the Gersh.
Mm-hmm.
How do you say that?
Machathites.
Maccabites, but the Gershites and the Maccabites dwell along among the Israelites until this day. Only until the tribe of Levi, he gave none inheritance. The sacrifices of the Most High of Israel made by fire are their inheritance, as said unto them. And Moses gave unto the tribe of children of Reuben inheritance according to their families, and their coast was. Stop right there.
No, keep going, because then I'm gonna show you something else. I'm gonna show you that. See, when you see Ephraim and Manasseh, see they end up getting. In other words, when Levi, see, okay, now since we're on the firstborn, let's break this down. Reuben was supposed to be the one that was supposed to be the next in line after and Jacob's sons, right? Okay, we know Reuben went up on his father's couch. Okay, then you had Levi and Simeon. They went and had tricked the people in thinking that if you be circumcised, even though y'all raped my sister, you can be with her and you can be part of the family. Then once the people agreed and they circumcised themselves, they went through and slaughtered them. Because we know when you get a man gets circumcised, especially he a grown man, if somebody come up on you, ain't nothing you can do. You can barely move. So then they was hated for that. He tells you that in Genesis chapter 49, when he starts giving out the blessings. So it went to Ephraim and Manasseh. So that's why you don't see Levi's tenant. That's another reason why you don't see Levi's tenant here. But we're gonna read the rest of this. Go ahead, because I want you to.
So the fact
that means everybody else might have the same question. Go ahead.
Okay, so but the fact of the matter is he had 13 children, correct?
No, Ephraim and Manasseh was added. They got the blessing.
Joseph.
Through
They
Joseph.
were Joseph's kids.
Right, through Joseph, because Levi, Simeon, and Reuben, they blew it. Because see, the firstbornship would have passed down. Okay, Reuben, you did this, and we're gonna get to that. I'm glad you asked that, but I already got that in here. Just
I keep it in there.
But let me go ahead. I'll get this. And see, only the tribe of Levi he gave none inheritance. The sacrifices of Yahweh Elohim of Israel made by fire are their inheritance. And he said unto them, see, the sacrifices of Yahweh Elohim of Israel made by fire are their inheritance. So this is why I went to this next video to show. And she conceived again and bare a son and said, now this time I will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore his name shall be called Levi. That's Genesis 29 and 34. And Levi means to adhere. Then Simeon and Levi are brothers. Their swords, this is Genesis 35, 25 through 30. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Their swords are weapons of violence because of what they did. may I never enter their council, may I never join their assembly, for they kill men in their anger and hamstring oxen on a whim. Cursed be their anger, for it is strong, and their wrath, for it is cruel. I will disperse them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. That's why you don't see them.
So
See?
some of them went to Jacob.
No, they redeemed themselves when Moses called on them to take care of the people that was doing that rose up to play. So they redeemed themselves. This is how they was. That's why the other anger came from what's the two names? Because the guy was playing them. Yeah, Shane. Yeah, you bring us out here to die. Hold on a minute.
Oh, you talking about? I know you're talking about.
They was arguing like, well, how come they get the priesthood? And then they had to go and then take the poll, and whoever's staff butted, that's who Yahuwah had chose, because they like, not only that, they're saying, well, why should they get the priesthood out of jealousy? The other thing was because of what they did. They killers. See, and it was Korah, when Korah and them was out there arguing out there in the wilderness. See, so that's what the whole thing was. But Yah said that they avenged him on the people that committed adultery against him. So he chose Levi. So again, he don't have his inheritance is his tabernacle, as we just read. And you have Ephraim and Manasseh that took the place. I mean, in other words, they was the one that was blessed. Yeah. They got the inheritance. That's why you see them up here. That's why you see them here. Hold on a minute.
That's in Genesis 48.
Yes, my wife says that's in Genesis 48. My right hand.
And the other brother that got kicked out of the inheritance, what happened to them?
Reuben. Well, then you're gonna find out if you keep reading that some of them are just gonna vanish. Some of them ain't gonna cross over. Some of them gonna stay on the other side. So, wow. But it's just reading. It's reading. And I mean, we like I said, on some of these nights, you want to call me. We can go through this stuff together. I don't mind doing that. But this is why we have to do a lot of reading, because then we'll understand what started happening to these different tribes and where they're at, and who is Judah is here, and then all the rest of them is Israel. And so you got, but it's 12 altogether. It's 12. It's just one of them lost the inheritance, and then Ephraim and Manasseh was added. But then you'll see that Manasseh vanished. Manasseh is the one, like we was talking about last night in the book club. Manasseh is the one that you have the Gentiles say that Manasseh and the Queen of England claim that came over to the Americas, which is Jerusalem, and this is where they're at right now. And their symbol is a lion with his hand on a beehive with a crown on his head. See that you'll run into that. But Ephraim is the one that end up becoming the 10 tribes. Ephraim is the one that got taken away during the captivity with the Assyrians. Judah went into captivity with Babylon. See, but again, it's just we're gonna get to some of that. And I think we did some classes on that maybe a couple of years ago, but we'll get back to that. But just know that his inheritance is this area right here where the fire is at. Okay, I mean, I might not help you that much. I got something I can send you on that. I got a video I'll send you to help you out with that. All right?
All right, we're good.
Okay, so we see that this is what happened. So they was already warrior priests. So much so that what happened when Samuel used to show up? Remember, they'd be like, oh man, here comes Samuel. Okay, is this gonna be good, Samuel? You coming in peace, or you coming to throw down? Because we know that's what you do. When Saul didn't kill the king, and he said, man, what's all this bleating of sheep and lowing of cows that I hear? Wasn't you supposed to, then y'all tell you to kill them all? And he said, what's this king doing here? You're supposed to kill him. Well, I just felt like, hold on a minute. He took the sword in the book, said he chopped them to pieces. Because they was warrior priests. Levi was known for chop. Didn't he just say right here that their swords are weapons of violence? Right? I may never enter their council. May I never join their assembly, for they kill men in their anger and hamstring oxen on a whim. This is who Levi is now. Okay, let's keep going. Now, so you shall appoint Aaron and his sons that they may keep their priesthood, and take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, Ithamar, Aaron's sons. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brothers, for glory and for beauty. So we went through this here. These also are the generations of Aaron and Moses in the day that Yahuwah spake with Moses in Mount Sinai. And these are the names of the sons of Aaron: Nadab, the firstborn, Abihu, Eleazar, Ithamar. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the priests which were anointed, whom he consecrated to minister in the priest's office. And I, behold, I have taken the Levites from among the children of Israel instead of the firstborn, and opened the matrix among the children of Israel. Therefore the Levites shall be mine. And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, bring the, okay, I put an X there, now something I was supposed to do. Tribes of Levi near, and present them before Aaron the priest, that they may minister unto him. And they shall keep his charge and the charge of the whole congregation before the tabernacle of the congregation to do the service of the tabernacle. And they shall keep all the instruments of the tabernacle of the congregation and the charge of the children of Israel to do the service of the tabernacle. And thou shalt give the Levites unto Aaron and to his sons. They are wholly given unto him out of the children of Israel. And thou shalt appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall wait on their priest's office. And the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. So here's how they was numbered, right? 8,000, 7,000, 6,000, right? Wisdom and glory never fadeth away. Yea, she is easily seen of them that love her, and found of such that seek her. She preventeth them that desire her, and making herself first known unto them. Whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his door. This is the Ruach. To think thereof, therefore, upon her is perfection of wisdom, right? Is what? Is being an adult in the spirit, and adult in wisdom. Whoso watches for her shall quickly be without care. So you keep looking for her. She's gonna show you these things, right? But you got to put the work in. For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her, showeth herself favorable unto them in the way, and meeteth them every thought. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. And the care of discipline is love. And love is the keeping of the laws. Like Trey's uncle said, man, I see what the brother talking about, but where is the love? The love is right there. I've been teaching you about the commandments. And the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. See, so that goes back to what you were saying earlier. When you be trying to talk to people, they don't understand that because they don't have the commandments, so that there is no assurance of incorruption. And incorruption maketh us near unto Elohim. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. Why am I going through this? This is the wisdom of Solomon. Why am I going through this? Because of the fact we're going to get to, you're going to see how everything was put together as far as their garments, right? The priestly garments, because we on the priesthood right now, y'all. Now, this is going to be it. We ain't going to stop yet. We're going to get there now. I mean, because, we ain't start class too a little late. So I'm going to take advantage of that. So, I'm sorry, y'all. I know y'all stomachs is probably growling and y'all ready, right? But we ain't going to stop right now. The breastplate, the breastpiece, sacred pouch of the high priest designed to hold the Urim and the Thummim. Who can tell me what that is? I should know this. The Urim and the Thummim.
2 stones.
And what did they represent?
Oh, gosh. Kim, help me out.
Light.
12 tribes of Israel.
Well, yeah, but the Urim and Thummim was something else.
Light and dark.
Light and darkness and something else. Okay, write that down. Urim and Thummim. I'm gonna need to do some homework. I'm sure I'm gonna ask y'all next week. You might as well know that.
You always forget.
I don't forget. I just be, yeah, I do. I forget. But I ain't
Thummim and Uman, okay.
Urim and Thummim. What did they represent? Okay. Then you had the ephod, priestly garment, shoulder cape, or mantle, outer garment. All right. See? All right. Okay. Then you had the robe, garment worn over a tunic by men of rank, Mihel. Bro, you might want to screenshot this woven work, check out material. All right. That's this. Let's see, all these things somebody had to be filled with what we just got done reading about to put this together. Coat, tunic, undergarment, a long shirt-like garment, usually of linen. All right. All right. The mitri, turban of high priests. All right.
Miter.
Miter, I would say mitri, but miter, girdle, sash, waistband. See, they all had one of these. Minister to be or become a priest, a kahan or kohan, you'll see that. Curious girdle, ingenious work. That's what that curious, I broke it down. The curious girdle means it's ingenious work. The name of the girdle or band of the ephod. So we have the holiness of Yah, that's what was written on his head right there, the golden plate. You had that was the mitri, represented a crown of righteousness. All right. The breastplate of judgment, the law and the covenant is what that pointed toward, to remind you of the 10 laws or the covenant or the 10 commandments. The 12 stones inside of here was the 12 jewels representing each tribe. The linen girdle represented righteousness and servitude. The ephod, Abraham's covenant. The fringes. Fringe of golden bells and pomegranates, fruit of sacrificial work proclaimed to world. Golden clasp represented the divine power. All right. Onyx stone's name of the 12 was on his shoulders because he was supposed to carry the children of Israel on his shoulders. Because all we looking at is the Mashiach. If you want a shadow picture, that's all this is. White linen coat, man, purity. Just like if we went back to the tabernacle, it had what? The linen that was around it was white to represent purity. And so this is why when the Levites came inside, they had to cleanse themselves so that they could be pure. You couldn't enter stranger, anybody else, you better not come up in there because we know spiritually you might not be clean and you might have to die. Because guess what? That's the Father's house. Ephod, right? The back of it, the new covenant. That's what, upper robe of blue, faithfulness. Pomegranates equal fruitfulness, knowledge, and wisdom. Bare feet, because he was on holy ground. Y'all getting this? And some scholars, because I'm going to the scholars now, because again, you won't find this nowhere written. They say that when he was ministering, that these stones would light up and light would come off. I've just read that somewhere. But see, that's just, again, you can't read that in here, and I've never seen it in any other book. But this is what the Mashiach is walking around with right now. So what your high priest got on. This is what all this stuff represents. All right? The Kohans. Now, okay, so we're going to go through this next week. I'm going to give y'all a break. I really want to do it.
Can I tell them what the Uman and Thummim means?
Yes.
Guilty and the innocent.
Okay, and what else?
That's all I just looked up was guilty and innocent.
Light and dark, right? Guilty for dark, innocent for light. It represents light and darkness. And guilty.
If it makes any difference, the stones I saw on Google, one was white and one was dark. So I guess you say light and dark too.
Yeah, that's how they have it. One white and one black.
It also, what I found, it said 2 objects used by the high priest to answer a question or reveal the will of Yahuwah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To bear the judgment of the children of Israel.
Right. To bear the judgment of the children of Israel. Okay. Now this is going to be the last thing we're going to do right here. I got to get through this because again, we didn't start class till like 20 after, so we gonna do this a little bit more. Ain't nobody laughing but me. Exodus chapter 29.
Okay.
I get up here on time. I ain't cutting the class now. I can't help it. Y'all got things going on and y'all ain't up here. I ain't mad at nobody for that, but I'm not gonna cut the class. I gotta make sure I'm accountable. I'm gonna make sure of that. Exodus chapter 29, Trey, verse 4 through 8. And we're gonna look at this thing. Now, this is what's happening right now, is when they come inside the temple, all right, when they're getting ready to be consecrated. Then he said that he's gonna consecrate them for the service of the priesthood. So this is what's gonna happen. So we're gonna see how the steps go. Come on, Trey, this is gonna be the last thing. We're gonna go through this, and this is gonna be it, y'all. All right. Exodus 29, 4 through 8, or we can go through, let's go to Leviticus, Trey, instead of Exodus. 8, Leviticus chapter 8. Because Exodus is just saying what he wanted to do. And Leviticus ended up being actually him doing it. Plus, you know, it's raining outside, it's all dreary, you ain't got nothing else to do. You know what I mean? Why not spend a little time with y'all? Hey, Leviticus 8, chapter 14 through 36. Come on, Trey.
Leviticus chapter 8, verse 14 through 36. And he brought the bullock for the sin offering, and Aaron his sons laid their hand upon the head of the bullock for the sin offering.
To cover them.
And
That's for the priest, see? And why would he, anybody, can you kind of think about in your mind, we just got done reading some stuff. Why would he give them a bullock?
To cover their sin,
And why would he choose the animal a bull?
because it represents Yahuwah, the Father.
Okay.
Power, authority.
Okay, yeah, the ox,
Strong
the
leader.
ox, the strong leader, but what else could it, what else you think he was trying to make them remember? That's a good answer, Kim. Very excellent, excellent. All right, I like that. But what else?
That an innocent animal had to
Yeah,
die.
yeah.
The golden calf.
The what?
The golden calf.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Remember what Aaron did? Aaron, the one that said, go get your earrings. Instead of him saying, look, man, what y'all doing? Y'all tripping. No, y'all can't do this. You're going against the commandment. He looked around, man, go ahead, get the golden earring. And he fashioned it. So, man, that might be another reason too. Doesn't say that. I'm just throwing some stuff out there, just like you said. The ox is the Aleph. That's perfect. I like that. Praise Yah. Come on, Trey.
verse 15. And he killed it and took the blood and put it upon the horn of the altar round about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured the blood at the bottom of the altar and sanctified it to make reconciliation upon it.
Okay, because we're gonna get to that when we get to the series on offerings, because that's a little ways down the road. I don't know if I'm just gonna put it up here or we're gonna do it together. But I kind of want to do it together because, again, I don't care about who come up here and watch these classes. I mean, I want people to get it, but I'm concerned with y'all because this is our family. This is our community right here. And I want to make sure y'all get it. Anybody else that come on and come. I'm glad that you come, and I'm glad that maybe you might learn something that you didn't, but I'm supposed to be concentrating on y'all. Go ahead. Go ahead, Trey.
And all the fat that was upon the inward, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and Moses burnt it upon the altar.
Right, don't stress out about that, because when we get to the offerings, I got it broke down. You're gonna be able to see exactly what parts of the animal that is. Go ahead.
But the bullock and hide, his flesh and his dung, he burnt with fire without the camp, as Yahuwah commanded Moses.
Right, and we're gonna find out later on that the skins, they was able to keep the skins if they wanted to make clothes out of it, yeah, because it's a clean animal. You gotta be clean if throwing it up on the altar, because remember, the Levites, they had nothing. All they got is, which they really got everything because they got Yah. But so they a lot of things they didn't have that everybody else had. So that ransom, they got that. And see, you'll start to see later on when they got wicked. They was wicked. They was worried about that money. They was worried, ain't you supposed to do this to like Samuel in the book of Samuel? I know you can have this, sir, but aren't you supposed to do this first? Shut up, man. Give me that meat. I'm gonna cook it like I want to. See? But go ahead. Go ahead, Trent. Power, man. Power. Go ahead, man.
Verse 18. And he brought the ram for the burnt offering, and Aaron and his son laid their hands upon the head of the ram.
Okay, who's the ram? Now we saw, Kim, that was a good observation. The bull could represent the father or the Aleph. Who would the ram represent? Mashiach. Because we see that when Abraham was about to kill his son and the messenger told him to stop, what did he find? The ram. What was around his head? Those thorns on the bush. He represents as a shadow picture of the Mashiach. So this is a shadow picture of the Mashiach. Go ahead, Trey.
Verse 19. Sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about, and he cut the ram into pieces, and Moses burnt the head and the pieces and the fat. And he washed the inward and the legs in water, and Moses burnt the whole ram upon the altar. It was a burnt sacrifice for a sweet savor, and an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah, as Yahuwah commanded Moses.
That's the first ram. Let's look at this second ram. Go ahead.
And he brought the other ram, the ram of consecration, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head.
Whoa. We missed something. The ram of what?
Consecration.
The ram of consecration. Go ahead, son.
And he killed it, and Moses took of the blood of it and put it upon the tip of Aaron's right ear, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot.
What does that possibly mean?
Wherever he walked, whatever he touched.
When he walking in the way of Torah. Whatever he touched should be in the way of Torah. Whatever he hears should be the words of Yahuwah. We're going to get to that when we get to offerings. Don't worry. I got that broke down real sweet. Go ahead, man. Praise Yah for the Ruach HaKodesh, the set apart one. Go ahead, brother.
And he killed it, and Moses took of the blood of it and put it upon Aaron's right. Verse 24. And he brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put of the blood upon the tip of their right ear, and upon the thumbs of their right hand, and upon the great toes of their right feet. And Moses sprinkled blood upon the altar round about.
Okay, so that means here's the charge, because it's like a covenant being made. There's no oath that's going to be taken, because that's why Paul told you in Hebrews, with this man, Aaron didn't have no oath, but this man, he took an oath, because it was how you swear by the order of Melchizedek, you're going to be a priest forever. But that never happened with Aaron. We're going to see that. So see, this again, it's why we go through this priesthood. So when you get to Hebrews, the book of Hebrews, you understand. Then when you start talking about these laws, you're like, look, man, that man talking about the animal sacrifice, man. Sit down somewhere. Sit down and listen. And I'm talking to you nice and calm, because I know you're sensitive. So I got to talk to you this way, right? I can holler at you about the football game, about your team, ain't going to be no problem. But when we come to this book, for some reason, you don't talk nice and sweet and cuddly. People, right away, they already want to shut down anyway. But then right away, come on, Trey. Come on, Trey.
Verse 25. And he took the fat and the rump and all the fat that was upon the inward, and the caul above the liver, and the two kidneys and their fat, and the right shoulder. And out of the basket of unleavened bread that was before Yahuwah, he took one unleavened cake and a cake of oil, bread, and one wafer, and put them on the fat and upon the right shoulder.
Okay, so stop right there. So now look up at the screen. We see number one, they show up. Number two, here's the consecration going down. Number three, they ain't in their clothes no more, right? All right. Now, all right. So this is, I'm just showing y'all the steps. Number four, the sin offering, blood horns on the altar, and roundabout. That's step four. Step five, you got 2 rams times 2, burnt offering, sweet savory, and blood round about the altar. Second ram, blood right ear, thumb, big toe for consecration. Step 6, now he's gonna go ahead, he's putting the blood on the horns of the altar and at the basin of the altar, right? And okay, so this is it. This is what's happening. All right, step 7. Come on and read, son.
All right.
I mean, we see right here the unleavened bread, the unleavened cakes, tempered with oil, and unleavened wafers anointed with oil. Tempered with oil, just because I used to be a cook, all he did when he made when he put the cakes together, he added the oil and beat it. He just tempered it in with the flour. That's all he doing. It's like when you making a cake or some type of souffle, or you making like what's these little things? I ain't cooking it so long, but we used to make these little things in the little ramekins. You had to temper the egg and the milk a certain way so it didn't curdle. So you had to slowly put it. Anyway, that's all that means. It's like it's mixed in, if you want to say it like that, mixed in. But go ahead, Trey.
Verse 27. And he put upon Aaron's hands and upon his son's hand, and waved them for a wave offering before Yahuwah.
Right. So they
And
held
Moses-
him up and he put him in his hands and he waved it back and forth in his hands up in the air before Yahuwah. Go ahead.
And Moses took them from off their hands and burnt them on the altar upon the burnt offering. They were consecrations for a sweet savor. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. And Moses took the breast and waved it for a wave offering before Yahuwah, for of the ram of consecration, it was Moses' part, as Yahuwah commanded Moses. And Moses took of the anointing oil and of the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aaron and upon his garments, upon his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aaron and his garments, and his sons' garments with him.
Right. So notice it just wasn't straight blood. See, it was blood and oil mixed, and the oil representing the Ruach, or the Holy Spirit, if you will. Huh? See, the blood representing the Mashiach. Go ahead, Trey.
And Moses said to Aaron and to his sons, boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and there eat it with the bread that is in the basket of consecrations, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it.
Right now, so that's where that hook. Remember, we looked at the flesh hook. When they boil the meat, then boom, it's boiled, so they can't stick their hand down it. So they take the flesh hook, boom, take it out. That's their portion. But it's a certain type of, if it's a peace offering, they can eat of it. If it's a burnt offering, they can't eat of it. And that's what Paul told us when we looked at that thing with the Mashiach, how he had to walk the walk of blood. He went outside the gate and he went to the other altar. But guess what? Paul said, of this sacrifice, no man, the Levites could not eat of it. This is what he's talking about, because of Levi's portion was the shoulder and the thigh. That was their portion. So every time they did this type of offering, they was able to eat, and they had to eat it in a clean place. But we're going to get to that later. I'm just I'm always trying to put stuff on you. Now, if you want to go through and read this, that'd be a good idea. But go ahead, Trey, where you at?
I'm at verse 32.
Okay, go ahead.
And that which remains of the flesh and of the bread shall you burn with fire. And you shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation in 7 days until the days of your congregation be at an end. For 7 days shall he consecrate you. As he has done this day, so Yahuwah has commanded to do, to make an atonement for you. Therefore, you abide at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation day and night 7 days, and keep the charge of Yahuwah that you die not, for so I am commanded. So Aaron and his sons did all the things which Yahuwah commanded by the hand of Moses.
Okay, you see that? So here it is. Now they have been consecrated. Now they consecrated, right? Go ahead, Trey.
Let's see.
Oh, wait a minute. You in oh, okay. Now this is what I want you to do. Jump back to verse chapter 7. And I want you to start at verse 29. And this is gonna be it, y'all. This is it. But I want y'all to see something right here. Okay, yeah. This and it shall be Aaron's son, the statute forever, the children of Israel for a heave offering, and it shall be a heave offering from the children of Israel of the sacrifice of their peace offering, even a heave offering unto Yahuwah Elohim. So whenever you had a peace offering or whatever, boom, this is their portion. So they got the skin of the animal, and they got and everything else was supposed to be burnt outside the camp, but they also this is their portion. And they had to sit down and eat it in a clean place. So they had bread and meats. This was all the time. See what I'm saying? But I want you to go ahead and read what I just gave you, Trey. Okay, we're gonna get to that next week. But I want you to go ahead and start at what verse I tell you?
29.
Start at 29, and we're gonna read down to 38. And that's gonna be it, y'all. But I want y'all to pay attention to something. Go ahead, Trey.
Speak unto the Israel, saying, he has offered the sacrifice of peace offerings unto Yahuwah, shall bring his oblation unto Yahuwah of the sacrifice of his peace offering. His own hand shall bring the offerings of Yahuwah made by fire, the fat with the beast. It shall he bring, that the breast may be waved for a wave offering before Yahuwah. And the priest shall burn the fat upon the altar, but the breast shall be Aaron's and his son.
Mm-hmm.
And the right shoulder shall be given unto the priest for a heave offering of the sacrifices of your peace offering. He among the son of Aaron, the offering that offers the blood of the peace offering and the fat, shall have the right shoulder for his part. For the wave breast and the heave shoulder have I taken of the children of Israel from off the sacrifices of their peace offerings, and have given unto Aaron the priest and unto his sons by a statute forever among the children of Israel.
Right, and I said the thigh. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry for that. I meant the breast. So it's the breast and the shoulder. And it's a statute forever for them. Anytime it's a peace offering, they got this. Because again, they didn't have no land and all this stuff. I mean, they ended up getting a city, but this was their portion. So really, if it was me, I would rather be a Levite because I know I'm straight. I'm finna eat there. I'm getting bread. I'm getting money. I got food. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many of y'all, and all y'all just keep being disobedient and bringing all kinds of stuff up there. Then you got the other ones. Then you got the ones that's bringing the peace offering, because a lot of y'all is good, and y'all just saying, "I love you, y'all." That's what I'm getting the cut. I'm eating, because I'm hoping. I should be hoping it's more y'all that's good than bad. That's keeping the commandments, because either way, I'm gonna eat. Go ahead, Trey. Go ahead, Trey.
Verse 34. For the wave breast and the heave shoulder have I taken of the children of Israel about the sacrifices of their peace offerings, and have given them unto Aaron, the priest, and his sons by a statute forever from among the children of Israel. This is the portion of the anointing of Aaron and of the anointing of his sons out of the offerings of Yahuwah made by fire in the day when he presented them to minister unto Yahuwah in the priest's office, which Yahuwah commanded to be given them of the children of Israel in the day that he anointed them by a statute forever throughout their generations.
Okay, hold on a minute. Verse 37, read that again in your book.
This is the law of the
Oh,
burnt.
boom. That's what I want right there. This is the law. So we see this is another law that has to deal with animal sacrifice. So when we get to Paul, we got to understand what law he's talking about. Can't just keep putting everything on the 10 Commandments. If you, like I said, if you in your mind, if you ain't persuaded, then don't do it. But we got to understand what law he's talking about. So when we get to Hebrews, we start reading Paul. Now it's going to start to get, when we get through this series, these 2 series, it's going to be so clear to you when Paul start talking. You're going to be like, man, how come I ain't never seen this before? Because I didn't know about this priesthood stuff. That's why. So next week, we're going to get to here. We'll be here. All right. And we're going to talk about meat offerings and burnt offerings and all this type of stuff. And we're going to even go to the New Testament and look at some stuff. Okay. And when meat offerings, that's another assignment for y'all. That Leviticus 2:8-13. I want y'all to look this up and tell me, is this word meat actually meat? I'll be trying to give y'all little hints too. All right, so let me go ahead and kill this.